Alright, we are getting immediately back to work today after killing the Ender Dragon. By the way, I haven't even dropped episode 7 yet. Like, I'm just kind of... I really want to finish this pack, so I want to rush through it as fast as possible. But yeah, the Ender Dragon is currently no longer here, and we are gonna continue the pack right about now. So we're gonna, first things first, before heading into the end cities and like the outer end area, we're gonna repair our tools first of all. And we also are going to need Ender Pearls to get into the little thingies, the end gateways. So we're gonna have to melt down the dust we got in the end. Because if you weren't aware, if I haven't shown this already, Endermen do not drop Ender Pearls, they drop Ender Dust, and you have to melt it down in a smeltery in order to make pearls in a pan cast, which is kind of ridiculous, but I mean, it is an expert pack, so, you know, you take what you can get. Alright, Ender Pearls in hand, time to head right back over to the end. So, the main things that we want are purple blocks, end rods, shulker shells, and stuff like biotite or pearl blocks like we saw in the last episode. Anyways, like, all in all, just a bunch of stuff from the end. So I'm just going to collect as much as I can. I didn't bring any backpacks with me, that's a mistake. But we can always just come back later. It's just going to take a little bit more time. Now, the real question is, where are the cities? Oh, I think I see some purple over there. I think we've got a small end city on our hands, because I need those shells. Oh, no. Oh, wow, this is a really big end city, and it's got a boat. All right, I'm going to aim for, like, this side, because it's got, like, the little lip on the bottom. Okay, no, we were able to reach it. I can get this unfamiliar shulker. Oh, no, it's disabled. Okay. Oh, shulker pearls. I'm assuming that's how we get the pearl blocks? Ah, all right. Sometimes I forget how annoying shulkers are to deal with. Okay, I see another one in the distance. Okay, wow, well, I've got another place to loot after I grab the elytra from this one then. Might have everything I need from this ship, so I don't know if I'll even visit another one. All right, time to go back to the end portal. And then from there, we're working on tech until space, which means this episode is most likely to creep into Age 5 more than just reaching Age 5. Alright, we're back from the end cities. One thing that I do want to do is I'm going to grab the biotite because I know I need it for the rest of progression. So we're going to grab like 2 stacks of it just to make sure. And then we're going to head home. Alright, home sweet. Soon to be space base. We are back. So we were able to get about 25 shulker shells, all of which are most likely going to go towards like advanced ender alloy, I think is what it's called. And then the rest, we got a ton of purple blocks. We got the coarse fruit, we got a couple flowers just in case we have to replant at base. That would let us make more end rods and stuff. And we got 42 pearls that were pretty common and a bunch of end rods. As well as this gear, it's got pretty good enchants, but I don't know if I'm going to use it all that much. Alrighty, first things first, we make basic ender ingots or whatever they're called. I don't know how much I need. I think I only need like the 5. Alright, 16 basic ender alloy. Now we want the improved ender alloy. So the advanced stuff, we only need 1 of these. But the enhanced ender alloy, that we're going to need a good amount of, I believe. Okay, we also don't need a lot. I kind of went overkill on the ender alloy, but I think it's fine. We might need some later. Alright, we're going to have to take a few steps back tech-wise and craft a luminous crafting table from the Necronomicon ritual, which I think is kind of ridiculous that in this day and age we can't use technology to bypass the requirement of eldritch magic, but I mean, whatever, I guess. Alright, finally, there we go, that's the second slate, and the Necronomicon is all charged, so we get to do another one of these things. I feel like it's been a while since I've done one of these. And now, with the fancy metals, we use 3 enhanced ingots and 5 regular ones to make an ender crafter, and then I will need more eyes of ender. There we go, we use some eyes of ender and more basic ingots to make alternators that we are going to put down like this. And now we've got an ender crafting table, which is kind of useless in any normal retrospect, but because of the pack modifications, I actually need it for some of the recipes. Alright, gunpowder acquired. Next thing we're making is a bunch of luminescence. Alright, next thing we're making is black iron, which is iron and crushed quartz, which we will split up into here so that it goes faster. Alright, most of this black iron is going to go into plates. The rest of it we're going to keep for crafting. These plates, the luminescence, and iron rods makes a bunch of basic components. And then from there, we need to make 1 basic catalyst. On top of that, there's a block of iron and more crafting tables, but that makes a basic tier crafting table, which I believe, yeah, just extended crafting, level 1. So that's going to go into the project chest, considering we're not going to need it right now. Right, so those pistons that we found in the Twilight Forest are actually going to be pretty useful right about now, considering we need to make inscribers from AE2. But before we can use those inscribers, we're going to need our press molds, which is exactly what we went to the end for. And that's exactly where the assembly here comes in, because we can just throw in all 3 of these ingredients, and it will eventually detect them. I'm sorry, please, how? I literally slept through the night. This shouldn't be possible. Please tell me that the chests are still... Oh my god, I don't think the chests survived. I don't think they all survived, at least. Okay, well, now we're mourning the loss of, like, 3 chests, I guess. They didn't have too much important stuff in them, but, I mean, it still sucks that we lost 3 of our chests. Among the things we also lost the Immersive Engineering Engineers table and all the blueprints, so let's just hope I can find a replacement for the arc furnace soon enough so I don't have to remake everything, including the electrode blueprint. Alright, next thing we're making is a power adapter so that we can access all of our machines from this mod and from, what's it called? Rlcraft. Alright, since the UV engraving place also kind of exploded last episode, we're going to need to make a new one. And that means I'm buying a blueprint instead of making one because my engineering table was broken and I can't make one anymore. Right, the PCBs are ready. I feel like I'm repeating myself with all this stuff, but it's time to craft a couple more of these. Alright, now that that problem has been dealt with, let's get back to the actual work, shall we? Alright, 6 cylinders coming right up and 2 IO units. Okay, the next thing we're doing, we're going to need the Stoked Crucible again. We're going to need this doohickey, and we're going to need to make another one of those filter hoppers that turns into gas and blow up space. Everyone in favor, say aye, because I know I'm not. Alright, there we go. Filtered hopper. I don't know if I still have an axle that I can use. Alright, that's fine. I should have some hemp rope somewhere. There we go. Now, filtered hopper. Right. Okay, here's a little problem I have with this pack. Because, like, why is it that I'm in H4, I've got all this industrial stuff, but I still have to use the horse press to press up clay, because for some reason, none of my other machines can do that right now. Alright, the urns are almost ready. We're gonna be cooking the urns. We're gonna be preparing them, because we're gonna be cremating gas. We're gonna be setting them on fire. Now, I hope you guys remember what happened last time we did this, because I'm not going to go get the clip. If you use an urn, if you put an urn on the end of the hopper, instead of a gas popping out and blowing up your base, the urn, it sucks out the soul of the gas. Whoa, how did that happen? Okay, let's not mess it up this time. So this is going to take, like, a couple eternities to craft, so we're going to work on, like, all the other resources while that's going. Alright, there's all my silicon. We're going to go ahead and start pressing all the silicon because I have a feeling we're going to need a lot of it. And okay, yeah, it is charged, it is working. So we're going to, oh, it only takes 1 at a time. Ugh. I'm going to need a total of 4 of these, so, you know, like, the stacks of silicon that I mined was kind of unnecessary. Can't wait to have access to, like, mechanism or, you know, something that's got actual power generation. I can't wait to have power cables that don't murder me every time I touch them. So while we're waiting anyways, let's craft our other presses. Okay, one more soul forged steel ingot, and then we're gonna be free from this. There we go, let's turn that off. So with the anvil and these materials that I picked up, and I also need the piston that I never made. We've got a compressor, which is, it's fueled with like it's solid fuel. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make like a bunch of everything, and then we'll see what I need depending on the metals that I totally have everywhere. We have 1 more multi-block to make. All right, I have everything I need, I believe, for the refinery. Okay, the last machine is set up, but we do need barrels to be able to input liquids. All right, I think it's high time we start making these actual Rlcraft machines. First things first, fuel loader, which we can make with tin canister. Bam. Next up, we need compressed steel, which is great, cool. I'm totally not tilting right now. Oh, we also need compressed aluminum, that's neat. But we also need an Invar gear, which I have here, which is nice. Which is funny. I just think I've done that joke, like, enough times. Is it still funny? I don't know, maybe I'll just end up overusing it, and then it'll stop being funny, and then I'll keep using it, and then it'll become like a bit. Which is funny. Alright, last thing we're crafting, it has to be on the ender crafting table. We went to the end for 1 craft, by the way, and it is the NASA workbench. Now these should, like, start, yeah, this is gonna take a while. Yeah, the real question is, how am I gonna get the oxygen into the refinery? Alright, the NASA workbench is done. I can smell it. We are so close. Right, we're gonna have to assemble all the pieces of the rocket, and then we're also gonna have to fuel it, which I need to figure out this again. Alright, we're gonna try fluid pipes from this mod to see if they can take in oxygen. Oh, they can. Look at that. It's like blue in there. Okay. So if I'm missing 1 pipe. There we go. So now this should be filling. It is filling with oxygen gas. Okay, we are saved. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. We've got only a few more things that we got to do. And that includes making the rocket fuel. So we got to go grab some kerosene from the doohickeys over here. Great, my corpse is hanging from the electrical wire. All right, now let's dump the kerosene into the refinery. And it's running out of power, like, instantly. Okay, hold on. I keep forgetting it's nighttime. Like, the last thing we have to do is make the rocket and then launch it, okay? Okay, I may have lied. We have to make a spacesuit first. Okay, I need, like, wool as well, which is going to be kind of complicated because I don't have any wool and I don't, like, make any. And I know it costs a bunch of garbage, mainly a bunch of sugarcane. But while we're waiting for the unreasonably high amount of sugarcane to grow, we have some other stuff that we need to make, mainly 8 of these oxygen concentrators. What we can also do while we're waiting is build the rocket and the launch pad. And that's going to be 4 of these fins. Anyways, a rocket engine. And lastly, I need a redstone torch, which I so graciously crafted about a stack of, in order to make a nose cone. And then we're also going to take 3 chests to give it some storage space. So if I throw all this junk into here, and then I give it 3 storage things, and then I fill this with heavy-duty plates, we'll have a tier 1 rocket with 54 slots of storage space. And bam, oh my god. Yeah, well, I'm holding it on my head. Giant rocket that you hold on top of your head. Okay, if I put the rocket here, the fuel loader, I don't know if it'll fill in from here. It should start dumping the fuel into the rocket. I don't know how much fuel space it has. Probably a lot, actually. How much was that? Like 3 buckets? Okay, wow, I was able to fully fuel the rocket. And we have how much left? It's a certain amount, I don't know. I can't believe, of all things to be stalling me out, that it's 4 stacks of sugarcane. I resorted to pilfering villages for their wool on the torches here. Because, I mean, at least it's a more active way of grinding this stuff out, instead of just sitting there and waiting for the sugarcane to grow. Guys, I've conceived a plan most ingenious. What about the rams in the Twilight Forest? Do they drop whole wool? If they do, I'm gonna be so happy. Come on, show me the money. Damn it. It was worth a try, at least. Okay, we finally have enough to make all the wool we need to finally make our filters for a spacesuit, which will get us to space. Turns out I need more wool. Alright, with the rest of the wool that we ended up having to make, we can make some oxygen tanks, which I have no idea how to fill up. I think I might just be able to... I can't, like, yoink oxygen gas out of here. Also going to need a parachute, which luckily enough does not require any wool whatsoever. Should have everything we need here for a oxygen compressor, which will let us fill up the oxygen canisters that we have. And we are going to be soon done with all of our preparations here. Before then, we still got to make sure we can breathe in space. So an oxygen mask is in order. Alright, hopefully this is the last thing, but we're going to make a oxygen gear so that the oxygen mask and the filters and stuff actually works. There we go. So we got a parachute, we've got our mask, we've got our gear, we've got tanks of oxygen. We're gonna free up some inventory space before heading out. We're also gonna empty out our miscellaneous backpack so we have all of the inventory space that we need. Gonna put on our spacesuit and forego the slime boots for the time being. Are we not looking drippy in this suit though? Now let's just dump everything, because when we come back from space, we're gonna be making a storage system with 82. Alright, let's throw the adapter and the loader in here. We've also got some normal batteries just in case. So, final checklist before finally launching to the moon and ending Age 4. Let's see. Spacesuit, check. Oxygen, check. Gear, mask, check. We've got our parachute. If I go on in here and I check the inventory, we've got batteries, we've got power, we've got spare fuel, and we can load the fuel in. Right, we've got ammo in the minigun, we've got some food, we've got storage space. I'm not sure exactly what we'll be looking for on the moon, but I am excited to finally head out. So, without further ado, if I open up the map, and I head over to the overworld, and I click on it, I think, there we go, double click on it, we can see the moon right here. This is where we're going. And we are now in Age 5. Oh, hold on, I can kind of see the moon from here. Hold on. Alright, let's slow down a bit. And we are landing. I'm blasting as much as possible. There we go. And now we have our space lander. We've got oxygen in the tanks. It's gonna slowly decay over time. Okay, and it gives us our launch pad back and everything. Okay, cool. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna take all this in my inventory and we're gonna put it into our MISC. Now, I'm not sure exactly what we have to do here, but we're gonna have to go quick. So from what I've read in the quest, we're gonna have to find some cheese and dungeons. I think I just saw something explode over there. There's no audio, by the way, like in-game, because I'm on the moon. There's like no audio whatsoever. Now, what is this? Is that a fallen meteor? Give me some of that. Raw meteoric iron and meteoric iron. Okay, it's like an advanced resource, I guess. Wonder if they've got any cheese down here. Pretty sure that's like the only ore I actually need. They've got skeletons and spacesuits. Oh, I found some cheese. I'm pretty sure cheese is the material that needs to be refined, yeah, to make skystone. So you're telling me there's moon villages? Alien villager. You'll need to equip a frequency module to communicate with them. Okay. Oh, I think I found a dungeon here. It's got moon dungeon walls. I know I need the walls for, I gotta mine out this stuff. Moon dungeon brick, because it is for the press mold, I think. Yeah, assembly for the calculation press. All the torches are off. Let's see, what is this stuff? Oil, there's cheese in here. Ooh, frequency module. I think that's what I was missing. Oh, a mending book. Don't mind if I do. Okay, frequency module. I can talk to the villagers now. Oh, and I got a little satellite. Oh man. There's a room up ahead that's lit up. Not sure what could be in here. Oh, is this a boss room? Ooh, yeah, Evolved Skeleton Boss. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Why is he grabbing me? What was that scream, man? Oh, he's dead. Okay, he's spinning. Jesus, that was violent. Okay, he gave me Tier 1 dungeon key. Ah, I'm assuming it's the chest back here. Got a NASA workbench schematic for a Tier 2 rocket. That's neat. Alright, well that was kind of... Well, I mean, the dungeon was kind of cool, I guess. There was one room of enemies. Well, I believe this might be everything we needed on the moon, and we're gonna need a Tier 2 rocket to continue then. Also, after reading all the advancements for the section, I do believe we have to at least continue the main progression through Rlcraft in order to finish the pack, because from what I'm seeing, the last achievement is to get to Neptune and fight a boss on Neptune. Alrighty, I think it's going to be just about time to get off this planet and make my way back, because I don't know if I'm going to need more than 24 Skystone. Yeah, worst case scenario, I can keep 4 and make myself some stuff with mystical agriculture. Well, if nobody minds, we're going to go ahead and store up all of our moon loot and pull out all of our moon escape stuff, whatever you call that. Let's go ahead and throw all of our extra supplies back into the rocket. Alrighty, we have everything, just making sure checklist. Our oxygen is running low. We've got our parachute. We've got everything. Rocket is fueled and ready to launch. Everything is inside of the rocket that needs to be. Everything inside of my miscellaneous backpack is where it needs to be. And we are ready to leave. Time to head back to Earth, guys. So while I'm on my way back, I want to talk about Age 5 and what that means for the series, because Age 5 is a very different point of the pack than all of the others, because, you know, Age 5 is the end of the pack. It's the last age, which means we have everything at our disposal. Like, for example, we now have access to Mechanism and all of its stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have Mechanism generators, but that is something that I'm willing to forego, especially considering we likely have other ways of generating power at this point. We also have mystical agriculture and a whole lot of fun waiting for us in that retrospect. And on top of that, just a whole bunch of other tech mods that I have yet to explore, and I know for a fact I'm going to need them pretty highly in order to gear myself up for the eventual end of the series. Oh, and look at that, the zombies are now wearing diamond armor. How fun. With all that being said, I am very excited to finally be in the space age, aka the final age of Sevtech, and I am excited to work my way up the rocket tiers, as well as go through all of the creative stuff, and of course, finally get my hands on diamonds. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and tell you to like and subscribe, and make sure you don't miss the next one. Peace.